All right, shalom, shalom. All right, I'm gonna get into part two, all right, of the lesson I did yesterday. Right, so this is Jake woman that was reunited with her father after he was in prison for 22 years. Right, and there's some key points I forgot to bring out in the last lesson that I want to bring out. Right, so let's get straight into this lesson, but play some of this real quick. But you see that, man, it's like that meant the world to her, right? And that's how important the father is. Like I said yesterday, the father is the centerpiece. The man is the prize, not the woman, but the society teaches otherwise, right? So let me get into part two of this. All right, and this Jake was incarcerated for whatever reason, right? But these devils put drugs in our neighborhoods. They put guns in our neighborhoods. The CIA, the alphabet boys, right? They supplied Jake with the rap music, the gangster rap music that encouraged them to sell drugs, right? Who own these record companies? You got to start really thinking about this stuff and backtracking. Jake don't own no record companies. Even back then, Jake didn't own no record companies. It was funded by the so-called white man to destroy us and push us gangster rap music so these Jakes can go mimic these lyrics and cover these things that they were shown in these music videos, right? But our nation, right, has don't have the most of the time the father is not in the household. He's not giving guidance to the child, right? Because of our nation, right? I'm gonna go into these things that the father and the man in general brings right to the family, right? The first one is guidance. So the father guides the kids, right, and rear them up, right, whether it be a boy or girl, right, and shows them, what's right and what's wrong. Let's go here real quick. I'm gonna jump back. And most of our men don't know, right? They're not in the truth. They don't know the way of the Lord. They don't know the correct way, right? Proverbs 22:6, it says, train up a child in the way he should go. That's he or she. And when he is old, he would not depart from these. So this is a literal meaning and it's a spiritual meaning as well. Let's focus on the literal meaning. So it says, train up a child in the way he should go. So the father brings the guidance, all right, the structure and the discipline, right, and many other things as well. But I'm gonna focus on this guidance, structure, and discipline, right? Let's go to this word guidance. It says guidance, advice or information aimed at resolving a problem or difficulty, especially as given by someone in authority, right? So that's what the father brings, right, to the family. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to get back into these definitions. I'm going to show you something. And, they kind of going off here and now, but there's some good information overall, right? It says the importance of a father in a child's life. So check this out. This is pretty profound stuff I'm about to read. All right. I'm going to start at the top. It says anyone can father a child, but being a dad takes a lifetime. It says fathers play a role in every child's life that cannot be filled by others. This role can have a large impact on a child and help shape him or her into the person they become. Check this out. It says fathers in emotional development. It says fathers, like mothers, are pillars in the development of a child's emotional well-being. So what has happened, a lot of these boys and girls didn't have that father structure in the household, right? And the woman, they under the woman vibration by being emotional, reacting with the emotions, not reacting out of logic and thinking things that out before they do things. That's why you got this generation in this condition that they are today, right? And this was all set up by the so-called white man. I'm gonna read this again. It says, fathers, like mothers, are pillars of in the development of a child's emotional well-being. Children look at their father to lay down the rules and enforce them. It says they also look to their fathers to provide a feeling of security, both physical and emotional. It says children want to make their fathers proud, and an involved father promotes inner growth and strength. So the father is to build that toughness, that strength, right, to push that child, especially if you're a boy, right, to raise him up to be a man, right? It says studies have shown that when fathers are affectionate and supportive, it greatly affects a child's cognitive and social development. It also instills an overall sense of well-being and self-confidence. It's heavy. Check this out. It says fathers set the bar for relationships with others. Fathers not only influence who are inside, but how we have relationships with people as we grow. The way a father treats his child will influence what he or she looks for in other people. What he or she looks for in other people. Friends, lovers, spouses will all be chosen based on how the child perceived the meaning of the relationship with his or her father. The pattern a father sets in the relationship with his children will dictate how the children relate with other people. Right here. It says father and their daughters. It says young girls depend on their fathers for security and emotional support. A father shows his daughter what a good relationship with a man is like. If a father is loving and gentle, his daughter will look for those qualities in men when they kind of going off on this. Whatever. Let's go to the fathers and their sons. It says, unlike girls who model their relationships with others based on their father character, boys model themselves after their father's character. Boys will seek approval from their father from a very young age, right? So, you know, get the meat, spit the bones out. But going back into the father is everything. Without the father, you have chaos, and a lot of these men have been emasculated. Even though they're a father in the household, the woman runs the house, right? That's not according to the Most High. It says guidance. I read that one. Let's go to structure, right? So the father also brings structure. It says structure, the arrangement of the relationships between the parts of elements of something complex. Let me see. I'm looking for something in particular. Salakia. 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, they ain't really giving me too much, but let's go ahead. It says construct or arrange according to a plan. Give a pattern or organization to. Right? So it's order. Right? It's some structure. It's to give you that way, what's right and what's wrong, right? According to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That is one of the roles of a father. When you go into this word um, structure, it goes back into the Latin, which means to build. All right, so the father builds up the son and the daughter to prepare for this world, man. Right? Let's go to discipline, right? And it's something that's shunned in this society. That's why you got a bunch of these boys that are soft, right? They effeminate, they LGBT, because the so-called white man has set this system up to accommodate feminism, accommodate a soft culture. It says discipline. That's what another thing the father brings to the table, right? And should instill inside of, especially if he got a son. It says the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience, right? So it's right here. Look at this direction, right? So the father instills the son, especially with discipline, All right, so you can keep them on the right track, right? And you get it. There ain't nothing deep about it. You know what I'm saying? But what this society has done is shun the authority of a man, right? And they empowered a woman to rule over the household and rule over their child. They broke the families together, broke the families up, so they can implement these agendas. Right now, people just don't see it. Right? Let's go here. Then I'm gonna close it out. But again, I would just add to what the lesson I had did yesterday. This says Isaiah 14, and let me start at 5. And it's talking about you Edomites. It says, the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked, right? So staff represents support, right? So this whole system is going to come falling down. It says, in the scepter of the rulers. So the so-called white man has been able to rule with an iron fist, so to speak, but that's been broken down, right? Starting at the crash of the monetary system, all right, and so on and so forth. 6, he who smoked the people in wrath with a continual stroke. So he never let off the oppression. He set all these systems up to oppress our people, to keep them lost, all right, to keep them with broken families. And the father, if the father is out of the household, is chaotic, right? Trying to, a woman trying to raise a boy up, it's bound for chaos, right? It says, he that ruleth the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. So once this devil is taken out of power, right, everybody's going to be at rest to a certain degree. But the nation of Israel, let me just say it like that, among the elect. But we is going to put hell on all you other nations, right, and especially you Edomites, right? But the oppression, the injustice, the racial profiling, the breaking up of families, the welfare programs, right? The crafty council, right? The setup, the crack era, the rap music, the gangster music, right? Shoot 'em up kids, stick up boys, prostitutes, um, harlots, strippers, right? Was all introduced to our people through the means of the so-called white man and glorified, right? All right. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Shalom.